Welcome back to the Amazing Channel. Today, I'm joining you from upstate New York, and we have a problem. Look at all that. This area has a lot of weeds, from what it looks like. The weeds everywhere else can be just cut. And besides, we can just pull them. And right now, there's so many of them that it doesn't make sense to pull them. And we have a solution. So the solution has to be quite quick. So we have barely any choices. Our only choice is weed whacker. It sounds really weird and sounds like you have no idea what this is. It's actually quite common. It's also kind of known as a trimmer. You know the really long thing that has an engine that has like a string at the end and a wire and spins really fast? That's what I'm talking about. Now, this is the first time probably in your life you're going to see a kid that is not 18 using a weed whacker. But don't try this with your kids unless you teach your kids. My dad has told me how to do this before the video, so I know. And this is kind of dangerous, so be careful when you're using it. And especially if you're having kids do this, make sure your kids are careful and know every single precaution. Now, for safety equipment, you will need goggles so it doesn't fly into your eyes. A face mask or helmet would be even better, but there's no need. And we need earplugs. I don't think we need it, but if you want to cut your ears, which I really do, you should have earplugs. Whenever you're using gardening equipment, unless it's not that loud, it's best to protect your ears and eyes. It's important to cover both ears and eyes, and if you don't want everything in your hair and don't want to take a shower unless it's hot, it's good to protect your hair. Now I'm going to show you how to operate and use the trimmer. Also, when I'm going to come up with the new introduction, when I cut that, is probably going to make it into the introduction if you want to know. This is how it looks. Well, to be specific, weed whacker. This is a good professional quality echo trimmer, and a lot of gardeners actually use it. And if you have gardeners yourself, just take a look. You might have one of these. And the cool part about it is the metal is actually aluminum, which means it's not that heavy. My goggles. So I didn't actually put my goggles on. I put them on my head so I can show you how to put it on. But I think you know. So now about earplugs. So I'm gonna open this, and I'm just gonna drop them down for this part of the video. I'll pick them up after the video. I just don't want you to pick it up on video because that's gonna waste some time. Now it is. So I'm gonna put one earplug in, and you're not supposed to feel anything more quiet yet, since it's just the first earplug. When you put the second in, you should hear less. So the way to put it on is you kind of twist it, and then you put it in your ear quickly. And the foam will just it will become bigger once it's in the ear. So I'm going to explain how to start it. Also, note you can hear yourself. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this up so that you can actually work. This is also how to handle it. You hold that, and you pull. So I had to do very fast.
to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it.
I just finished here, now I'm into the front of the house. And it's much harder than it looks what you think. There's no stabbing in there. I can do it. Right in there. So now I'm at the front of the house, and I'm going to be trimming over here the front deck. And you might be asking, what is this? This is actually not bricks. Our bricks are over here. That's our wood. Definitely feels good to have these earplugs out. It feels very different to have them on than out. So now the final step is I'm going to use the tractor and mulch it. And the way I figured out if you want to do it or not, is if you want to continue watching, you could just keep watching. But if you don't want to see mulch, which you probably do, but if you don't, you could just skip to that. I just finished using weed whacker or weed trimmer. I think it's basically called weed trimmer, but weed whacker sounds much funnier. I'm very tired and exhausted, but I still want to do some fun stuff after this video. And I just finished trimming most of the weeds around the house. It was much harder than it looks. And if you want to do this at home, be careful. So be careful on wires, wood, and bricks and stuff like that you'll find around the house. And if you're next to wood, you'll often, after you're looking back, you'll often find tiny scratch marks. And that's okay, as long as you don't really care, right? But it's much better than having weeds. Weeds are even worse than those tiny scratch marks. They're tiny. So as long as you're not trying to take your whole brain and try to find them, you're not going to see them. The final step is to mulch them. But before I can mulch, I do have to move my weed back out of the way. And I'm gonna choose to put it right here next to our Wacker. We'll move it back in our garage later. For now, this is a good spot. Now I'm gonna use the tractor to mulch all the weeds. See, I actually done this several times, and I'm pretty good at it. So, before the camera turned on, I saw a butterfly there. So I'm going to try to be careful not to go there, because I do not like killing butterflies. So now, what you first want to do is you want to start it. This tractor doesn't require keys. I just finished mulching my tractor. Remember, when I did the weed walking, this was the first time. And I'm still only 10 and a half. So don't expect it to be perfect. But I did a pretty good job for the first time. So remember, this is very, very hard. And you don't want to go too high, and you don't want to press the gas too much. If you press the gas too much, it will just be harder to control, especially when you're doing it the first time. It will be hard. And seeing the areas where I accidentally, got the grass. Be careful not to cut the grass off. If you cut too much grass, that will make it look like there's no grass there, because there won't be. And I know I didn't do that, because, we'll do that for next time. I'll try to do it again. I trimmed all that. You want to know something interesting? So you see the color change? So those exposure to water and moisture. And actually, before I continue, I actually see eyes and a mouth. Quite cute. And over there, the plants would take up the moisture and they would they would not let the wood get dirty. And that's why there's white down there. Because we haven't done this in a while. Just get neglecting. Because most of our time here, we were just here on vacation and we wanted to enjoy ourselves. And weed walking isn't that fun, especially compared to mowing the lawn. Mowing the lawn is much funner with the tractor. So I cut the grass, I trimmed the weeds, and then I came back to the tractor and mulched it. So now I'm gonna get my weed whacker and I'm gonna do the credits. But before I actually do the credits, don't tilt it sideways. That will get your gas to leak, and also if you don't know what fuel goes in a weed whacker, it's gasoline. And I bet you know where to get them, but if you don't know where to get weed whackers, you will find them in stores, hardware stores, like stores that are good for building, stores that are good for a handyman like us, and probably the store that has the handyman screwdriver. And you still use it. Now time to wrap up the video. Thank you for Dad helping me with most of my mistakes that didn't make it in the video, helping me with the camera, helping me with basically everything. Teaching me, trusting me to actually do this. So I did pretty good for the first time, especially considering I'm 10. So it's good to have. Also, I want to warn you, this isn't that fun. I'm not trying to discourage you. This is still great to do, especially if you don't want gardeners doing it, because gardeners will give you a heavy penny. And it's going to be quite pricey. So I recommend you do it yourself if you actually can't do it. And it also teaches you to be a handyman, because when it cuts the plants, especially if they're not dried, it will squirt some kind of weird greenish liquid in your face. And that teaches you to be more of a handyman. I know it sounds weird, but it will teach you to be a handyman. Just trust me. And this is a pretty good workout, especially if you don't. This is a pretty good cheap workout since you're not losing money. Because this thing is actually not that light, but if you would use steel, that thing probably wouldn't be able to pick it up. But it still has some mass because the motor. Aluminum still has some weight, just not that much. And the handle and the action part of the trims. So it's not that light, but it's lighter than you might expect. So I just learned a new skill today. I'm pretty happy. So remember, don't forget to click subscribe, because that will help me make more videos and better ones. So if you want better videos, it makes sense. And also, this buy is going to be a kind of cool one. It's going to be a weed whacker wave. Now bye, and you will see it, and you'll see me in the next hands-on video, or maybe my brother's video. I'm not sure. But anyway, bye.